Well, hi everyone, and welcome to the Infinity Futures Daily Trading video. My name is Raleigh White, and I'm here to talk to you about the trades we took in our live trading room on Monday, November 17th, 2014. We're looking at today's economic calendar. You can see there are several things on tap that we needed to be aware of, but all of them occurred prior to the open of the U.S. trading session. At 7:30, we had the release of Empire State Manufacturing Index, which came in lower with a value of 10.2 versus an estimate of 12.1. This is one of those indexes where anything above zero would indicate manufacturing expansion, anything below zero would be manufacturing contraction. Then at 8 o'clock, we had ECB President Mario Draghi addressing the European Parliament. Then at 8:15 we had the release of capacity utilization rate, which came in lower than expected at 78.9% versus an estimate of 79.3%. And then at 8:15 we also had industrial production data being released, which was lower at a negative 0.1% versus an estimate of an increase of 0.2 of a percentage point. Now, as far as today's pre-market sentiment was concerned, things were fairly negative coming into the open. Now, the Asian markets had closed lower after Japan's GDP data was released. Investors in Asia were nervous after Japan's third quarter GDP contracted at an annual rate of 1.6% versus an expected contraction of 2.1%. As a result, we saw that the worst performing market in Asia was the Japanese Nikkei. It closed down 3 full percentage points, falling off of 7-year highs and delaying the implementation of the second round of sales tax hikes for the time being. We also saw that the Australian market was off. It was down 0.8 of a point near 1-month lows on losses in the healthcare and the banking sectors. As far as the European markets are concerned, they were open but trending lower as Japan heads into recession. Now, the sentiment in Europe was souring on news that Japan's economy had contracted in the third quarter. We also saw that the energy and mining sectors remained under pressure over lower metals and oil prices, and the focus for many European investors today would be on ECB President Draghi's speech before the European Parliament. As far as the United States is concerned, Wall Street did figure to open up lower on the disappointing Japan GDP data. Now, the futures were pointing down coming into the open following the global markets lower as Japan slips into recession. We did see, however, that the pharmaceutical sector got a lift after Pfizer and Merck have agreed to combine to spend $850 million on the development of a new cancer drug. Focus for many U.S. investors was going to be shifting to the upcoming housing, producer price index, and consumer price index data due out later in the week on what was otherwise a very slow day for scheduled news and events. Now, as far as my trades are concerned, I attempted 4 entries in the market, but I wasn't filled on any of these, but I'd like to share with you what I was looking at. But before I do that, I do need to remind everyone of this following important disclaimer, and that is that trading futures involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. You should carefully consider whether trading is suitable for you in light of your circumstances, knowledge, and financial resources, as you may lose all or more of your initial investment. And always remember that past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Well, turning to the charts, let's begin here with the Euro FX futures market, and you can see that we had 3 attempts in this market. The first one occurred right here after the open of the U.S. trading session. You can see that we had 2 bars moving consecutively lower by 1 bar retracing and a second bar retracing, and I was hoping to get a 2-bar pullback entry short at 124.86, and you can see the market came within 2 ticks of giving me my fill before falling away from me, and I had to take this trade out of the market. Now, staying with the 6E, you notice that we had 2 bars moving lower, 1 bar retracing, and I was hoping the second bar was going to retrace and give me a short entry here at 124.78, but the market only made 1 tick move in my direction, then fell away, and I needed to take this trade out. That brings us to near the end of the trading session, where you can see we had 2 bars moving lower, followed by 1 bar retracing, and I was hoping this second bar was going to come up here and retrace and give me a short entry at 124.70. The market moved a few ticks in my direction, then fell away, and I needed to take this trade off. This brings me to the E-mini S&P 500 market. Now, looking at this market, we can see about midway in the trading session, we had two bars moving higher, followed by one bar retracing, and I was hoping this second bar was going to retrace and give me a long entry here at 34.25, but you can see the market moved away from me and I had to take this trade off. So by way of summary, folks, today, 4 attempts in the market and no fills. The markets were very sort of sluggish and sideways moving, range bound, and didn't give me much in the way of really good signals to enter. But with that, I kept my powder dry. I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of opportunities might present themselves tomorrow. Well, looking at tomorrow's economic calendar, you can see there are several things on tap that we need to be aware of. Things get started at 7:30 in the morning with the release of the Producer Price Index, and that's followed by the Core Producer Price Index. Then at 9 o'clock, we have the National Association of Home Builders Housing Market Index data coming out. At 12:30, we have FOMC member Contra Lakota speaking, and then at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we have the release of TIC long-term purchases. So hopefully, collectively or individually, these events are going to move the markets and give us some nice opportunities to trade. And with that, thank you very much for watching today's daily video. I wish you a pleasant evening. I look forward to speaking to you tomorrow.